Hello.
We're back. Unfortunately.
Well.
Well.
That wasn't your decision, it was mine. We're back reading Monster High Smut Shots. It is 12:41 in the morning. And, we're almost done.
We're back with, chapter 6.
Frankie Stein again with Neighthan Rot.
Frankie,
she really gets around. She really gets around.
She do.
Let's
just go right into
I'm gonna be Neighthan.
I'm Frankie. Was I Frankie the last time? I really don't remember.
Yes, you were.
I feel like I was...
You were Frankie.
I feel like I was not...
We'll have to check. I don't remember.
I feel like I was...
No, because I was...
Oh, no, I remember.
God, we have like 5 whole ass seconds of us.
Oops.
Let's, hello. Just in case.
Let's get back in. Let's get into this.
Okay, Ow. That sound could only come from the Grave Ball medical room. From there, a certain hybrid was busy tending to his wounds after getting tackled so hard on the Grave Ball field. Luckily, it was practice and not a real Grave Ball game, because if it was, he'd be getting blamed for the loss, all because he was a bit clumsy.
Which exactly what Neighthan Rot was. After all, he was half zombie, half unicorn. The highs of being a half unicorn was that he could heal everyone whenever they were in total pain. He would have healed himself in the process, but unfortunately his horn got busted up really bad, which meant he had to be healed the hard way. On the zombie side, he was a bit of a klutz. He couldn't help but stumble over things without being a tad careful.
Unfortunately, his friend Claude wasn't being careful about wrapping up the bandage around his leg. It was cut up a little bit, but lucky for Neighthan, it wasn't very deep. I'm sorry, Neighthan, and it wasn't very deep. Yet, it still hurt like a bitch. Ah! Neighthan cringed in pain. Be careful with that.
Oh, am I gonna be Claude? Okay.
Well, if you didn't move around so much,
stop!
then I would be careful.
He sounds more like... Wait, okay, never mind. Well, if...
You want me to do it?
I can't. Okay, go.
Well, if you didn't move around so much, then I would be careful, Claude exclaimed. I swear it hurts like holy hell, Neighthan hissed. Meanwhile, Claude was still wrapping him up. His crush Frankie Stein came in, dressing in a very sleek black-yellow dress.
Hey, Neighthan, Frankie replied.
Hey, Frankie, he hissed again.
Hey, Claude, is it okay if I take it from here? Hanky insisted to Claude.
Hanky.
Hanky.
But I'm having bro time here, Claude said, changing the subject.
Oh, that's me. It's very personal between me and him, Frankie sighed. Would you mind?
Oh, I get it now, Claude smirked. I gotta get going anyway. Don't get hurt again, dude.
Completely skipped that.
Well.
Okay, it's fine.
Just like that, Claude bolted out of the trainer's room. After he was long gone, Frankie and Neighthan were all alone with no one else watching them. Oh, how strange this was for sure. While enjoying the peace and solitude, Frankie assessed the damage that was dealt from Neighthan. Nothing but bumps, bruises, and a little bit of cuts that need fixing.
Wow, you definitely took a bit of a beating today, Frankie sighed.
No kidding, Neighthan nodded. That many dude surely knows how to tackle hard. He nearly tore off my body, period.
I could see that, Frankie nodded as well. You should probably take it easy next time.
Yeah, I probably should, he shrugged. Hopefully I won't fail this time.
Suddenly, both Frankie and Neighthan shared a laugh, but unfortunately... The laughing became too much as the pain got around to Neighthan's ribs.
Oh, crap! He cringed.
Is it the pain, huh? Frankie replied.
Yeah, Neighthan nodded painfully. It's still getting to me. It probably won't feel better if I laugh so much.
Huh, she shrugged. Well, can I help you feel any better then?
Yeah, right. What can you possibly do to help me feel better? He scoffed.
Somehow, with a suggestive smirk on her face, Frankie took Neighthan's bruised up face and laid out a kiss.
This boy must be aching.
A passionate kiss at best.
At best.
It was so passionate that Frankie even slipped a little tongue inside him. Neighthan was quite surprised at best. Fuck, is it at best? He never expected Frankie to do that to him, but he saw it coming from her. Should he kiss back from this? Is he literally saying, yeah, I knew she thought?
Before he could think his choices out, Frankie suddenly climbed on top of him, sending her tongue deeper. That was way more than enough for Neighthan to kiss her back. Frankie started grinding on him a bit, which managed to make his bulge erect. She started turning him on and on every chance Frankie could get.
During the little makeout session, Frankie got a hold of her skin-tight dress and pulled the straps down, revealing those satisfying 34 double E. Did she get bigger from the first chapter?
The titties keep slowly getting bigger.
34 double E
God.
cups for Neighthan to see. That little scene made Neighthan's his hard throbbing erection hard as a rock. It was so hard that it was starting to break out of the jockstrap he was wearing. Frankie could notice it instantly. Let's see if this makes you feel better, she smirked.
Frankie carefully got off of him and noticed his manhood stretching up a bit about 11 inches. With a smirk, Frankie stripped Neighthan off of his jockstrap and looked up to see a full 11-inch erection right on her face. Frankie's eyes popped out almost literally, amazed at the throbbing presence of Neighthan's itself. There was no guy in Monster High who was that big, but Neighthan was just horsecock big.
I read that.
I knew you did. I did too.
With her hand on his erection, Frankie licked all the way up his rod. I hate the word rod so much.
Jackson Rod Stewart.
Stop it! And slid down again, only reaching 9 inches.
So she could get to the base on Jackson, she could get to the base on Jackson, but she can't get to the base on Neighthan. So she's asked for some big dick. With her newly found 34 double E titties.
Back and forth, she licked and sucked him all around, leaving a shudder to emit inside the zombie-corn hybrid. In addition to that, Frankie also took the time to massage his testicles, rubbing them nicely and softly. Neighthan had never tasted so good to Frankie. Has she tasted him multiple times? He tasted like a hint of vanilla malt milkshake, mixed with a hint of cinnamon for good pleasure.
Oh my. Neighthan, oh my. Neighthan moaned a little.
My.
Oh my.
Meanwhile, Neighthan decided to make things even by grabbing a bit of Frankie's hair and thrusting vertically into her mouth. He went slow and nice, being careful not to make Frankie's mouth sore from all the sucking. It was sore already. At times, Frankie gagged on his erection, but it made for a nice lubrication as her slobbery trails of saliva dropped down to his man meat.
Man meat is one word.
And that forced Neighthan to thrust even more harder onto her mouth, slowly anticipating pre-cum as possible. What is with them and pre-cum? Specifically.
As Neighthan let her go, Frankie sucked up all the rest of her spit that was attached to his third leg. Looking down at her, they exchanged a small French kiss, which melted both of their hearts a little.
You don't know how good you taste right now, Frankie smirked.
I'm glad you liked it. Neighthan took in a wink. We just winked at each other.
Now, just lay back a bit, Frankie smirked. Nurse Frankie's not quite done with you just yet.
As you wish. With Neighthan laying back on the bed, Frankie managed to get on top again, positioning her rear on the center of its rim. With a deep breath, she squatted down on all 11 inches, feeling a soft moan and a hiss to go along with it. With his erection wrapped inside her, Frankie's hips started gyrating slowly yet steadily. One by one, she kept grinding him nicely and gently, feeling every ounce of his man meat moisten around her soft pink textures. It glistened around her love juices, making it perfect lubrication for him.
But while she was still riding him, Neighthan managed to dominate her by clenching onto her rear and thrusting vertically once more, making her hiss a bit loudly. By then, the tip of his cock nearly reached right up Frankie's womb. I thought he was in the ass. I don't know. But
no, these are all vaginal, because anal's too out there.
I don't know. Spectre did anal. But yet, it didn't matter that much to her if it hurt or not. She dreamed of this every night, that she would ride his hard manhood. Ride him like a pony. And with all the grinding and all the bouncing that went along with it nicely, her dream was turning into straight-out reality.
Not slowing down one bit, Neighthan managed to turn her over, in which she was on the bottom and the zombicorn was on top. And then he began thrusting her more. The pain to his abdomen definitely affected him more, yet he was fighting on the pain. The pain that was centered over Frankie's wet groin grew more sensual at best, and she blushed with ecstasy. The feeling of his entire 11 inches slamming down on her pussy still rang fresh as she became drained of her energy.
Suddenly, the thrusts became more vicious and earth-shattering. Somehow, Neighthan went extra fast, beating down her groin in a very steady pace. Frankie lost control so much that she started holding onto Neighthan's tight buttocks.
Her legs or her... She just reaches over with her hands and grabs his ass cheeks.
The harder he thrusted, the tighter Frankie held on. Who knew that with a hard throbbing 11-incher also came with a very tight tush.
Tushy.
Frankie really dug that in Neighthan very deep.
Frankie really dug that in Neighthan very deep. And he kept digging into her very deep.
Oh my god.
But a second later, Neighthan slowed down and catched his breath. Still, he didn't reach his climax yet, and so did Frankie, as a matter of fact. While Neighthan was taking a little breather, she looked down at Frankie, who smirked at him. Wait, before we continue. I hope to everyone listening that you can hear just how, not correct this is. It's not that it's wrong inherently, it's just that it isn't quite right.
That's why it's funny.
It's really funny.
Neighthan, Frankie panted.
Yeah, Frankie.
He panted as well. After wiping off some of the sweat on her forehead, Frankie smirked yet again. Take me from behind, she whispered. I told you ass was not controversial.
As you wish. As you wish, Neighthan whispered back.
Responding to her commands, Neighthan rolled Frankie over, getting her on in all fours.
Carefully and nicely, Neighthan gently inserted his throbbing erection inside her clit again. Grabbing onto her hips, he pressed his groin into her, giving Frankie a very loud moan. With his man-meat attached all over her buns, he slid in and out fast, sending an ounce of pressure straight between their bodies. After only several thrustings later, he started letting out an ounce of pre-cum all over her clit. Therefore, it was anticipating the explosion that Frankie wanted from him.
He went inside of her clit. How does that work? With Frankie now clenching the edges of the bed, Neighthan started going faster and faster. The pain to his abs didn't really affect him anymore. And neither was the small cut around his leg. His grunts had increased with total velocity. It was like an angry horse filled with 100% adrenaline, and it screamed all over the place. However, he was looking for Frankie to scream out instead, which would explain why his large cock was shaking incoherently.
Neighthan could feel it coming, and Frankie could feel him coming, and it was a matter of time before Neighthan thrusted in her ass one last time.
Don't send me memes in the middle of recording.
This one's worth it, don't worry. I'm coming, Neighthan grunted. I'm coming!
Oh, Neighthan! Frankie screamed out.
That one final scream coming from her, Neighthan shot out a very gigantic seed, filling inside Frankie's sweet clit like a cream puff. She kept on shooting inside her more and more until those huge globs of his seed spilled all across the floor. All of that hard thrusting made Neighthan exhausted as hell. The whole entire room had spun around him so much that he collapsed on top of Frankie. By the time their little session was over and done with, both Frankie and Neighthan spent an entire 15 minutes spooning each other.
He was sighing with such satisfaction. Frankie looked up at Neighthan, who smiled right back at her. So how did that feel? She smirked.
That totally felt a lot better. Neighthan nodded. I know I'm still hurting a little bit, but it's definitely a start.
I'm glad you liked it. Frankie smirked again.
Yeah, I really need to get hurt most often, Neighthan chuckled jokingly. That way you can make me feel better a lot more.
I'll be sure to write you up on that description.
I'll be sure to write you up on that description.
My patient. Frankie winked at him as the two shared one final kiss before redressing and leaving.
And it was very interesting how one beautiful ghoul like Frankie could help out a monster like Neighthan feel much better from his wounds. Talk about one hell of a fighter. No, Frankie Stein is braver than all our US Marines. Wow. Just wow is all I have to say to this is the notes, by the way. Wow. Just wow is all I have to say about this one. I know what you're asking. Yes, I made Neighthan Rod into a Graveball player. Don't believe me? Watch the episode Graveball Greats so you see what I'm talking about. I'll tell you, Neighthan was boss in that episode.
I watched that episode.
I feel I probably have too. Anyways, I'm gonna read out the tweet that I sent to Meatloaf just now. It's from Ice-T, and he says, "I'm not easily impressed. I'll definitely let you know when I am. I love to give true compliments." And then somebody at Kenny Bromega said, "I once busted 22 times in a single day," to which Ice-T responds, "Now that's impressive." Anyways, you can find us at eroticapodcast@gmail.com. You can find us on our Twitter at ESEpodcast with 2 T's. And you can find us on Instagram at ESEpodcast. We're always taking recommendations for fics. And who knows, maybe you'll see one of your fics being read soon enough.
Yeah, boy.
Anyways, we're gonna go. Bye.
Bye.